James is really good at talking about perseverance. 2 verses out of James 1. Verse 4 says, perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature, complete, and not lack anything. I mean, if you read that verse, you go, wow, I like to get there. We have to do the front end of the verse in order to get the back end of the verse. We got to persevere through some things, not just give up in the middle. And then verse 12, it says, blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive a crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. Blessed is the person who perseveres under trial, because you will receive a crown of life if you persevere. Maybe you know the name Florence Chadwick. I just became acquainted with her. In 1952, she was the first woman to swim the English Channel, not only across, but she also swam back. She went with the current, and then she went against the current and made it all the way through. Her next feat was she decided that she would swim the coast of California. And so she began as an island and began to swim down the coast. And after 15 hours, which is actually less time than it takes to swim the English Channel, after 15 hours, she said, I quit. I'm done. There were support boats around her. Her mother was in one of the boats coaching her. Please don't, you're almost there. But she said, no, I can't go on. I quit. I give up. What was going on? There was an intense fog that day that was in the water and around the boat, and she could not see the coastline. And because she couldn't see the coastline, she didn't know where she was. The fog was so dense and so thick that she just got so disoriented that she said, I quit, I give up. And they honored her request and pulled her out of the boat that day, and then she began to recover. But she didn't let that failure be the end. She got in the water again to make that swim down the California coastline. And she came to the same conditions that she had before. The fog was thick as can be. And yet she persevered all the way to the end, and she accomplished the victory. And so when she got out of the water, they asked her, what was the difference? Same conditions as before, same fog, same disorientation. She said, no, it was different this time. Because when I went into the water, I put a mental image in my mind of the coastline, and I never let it out of my mind. I never let it out of my mind. And I swam to victory. Before, I was looking for the physical image of the coastline, and it wasn't there because of the fog. But I placed a mental image of the coastline in my mind because I knew I had to keep that anchor in place in order to accomplish what I set out to do. What an incredible story. But many of us get in the fogs of life, and we get disoriented. And we lose that anchor that a transformed mind contains. That we're going to stay the course and persevere because God has called us through. And Florence Chadwick illustrates that so well. That she failed the first time, but she went back and made a correction. She renewed her mind. She put something inside her head of, this is where I'm going, regardless of the circumstances around me. This is where I'm going because this is what I've been called to do.